Hello, hello, and welcome back for more stress and screaming than a 6-year-old's Chuck E. Cheese birthday party down in the antediluvian arcades of Perfidious Manor in Darkest Dungeon. And the Chuck E. Cheese thing really is how last episode felt, to me at least. Stuck for hours on end in a cheap Dickensian joy mine whose soulless homogeneity manages to transform even the wonder of a singing animatronic mouse into a never-ending exercise in emptiness, while a gaggle of brats punch one another and smear a semi-toxic slurry of cheese and tomato sauce into each other's hair. Except instead of 6-year-olds, it was lugubrious fishmen, and instead of cheese and tomato slurry, it was handfuls of milt and roe. Yeah. And I'm not ashamed to admit that I think I'm starting to understand what it's like to walk the pack of Chuck E. Cheese. And I'm not talking about the lurching mechanical contraption up on stage. That's not Chuck E. Cheese. No. That thing, that's just a robot. A soulless automaton put there to distract you from the true horror of Chuck E. Cheese, which is the thing in the mouse suit. And I say thing because whomever it once was that's in that suit, it's not a person anymore. The non-stop shrieking horror of its day-to-day existence has long since devoured its soul and cast what remained into the eternal void to peer, eerily, through the bitter black holes of that mask at a world the thing inside can no longer understand and hates with a passion reserved exclusively for the damned. And thanks to the mission we had last time in the cove, yeah, I understand that thing in a suit now. I know what it's like to dwell for eternity in a place of joylessness and loathing, filled with horror and hunger and hate. I know. So, you know what? I think we're gonna not take a mission in the cove this time, because I'd really rather not know where the path of Chuck E. Cheese leads if it's all the same to you. And besides, those costumes look really hot and uncomfortable, and I bet they smell like a sweaty taint on the inside. So, you know what? Let's just avoid that. What else have we got? No veteran missions. We don't have a veteran crew yet. A medium to explore 90% of rooms seems terrible. Medium. So our only low-level missions are all mediums except for the goddamn cove, which is short, and really all I feel like we have the soup to do. Fantastic. No, this is great. Thanks. I'm sit here and go on a diatribe about not going to the cove, and sure enough, the cove is the only goddamn... Salt is high. Salt is very high. The salt levels of they're up there. Yeah, they're well up there. All right, so we're gonna go with old Wade Wilson, Anthony the Taskmaster Masters, and we're gonna take Electra. I wish I was nachos, and Ghetto Hawkeye is gonna bring up the rear. Good old Kathy Bishop. So let's get provisioned. We start with a shovel and medicinal herbs and a bandage. I'm guessing leper. Yeah, I don't know who's bringing medicine. Probably leper and gravedigger for certain. I guess medicinal herbs come from our arbalest or maybe our man-at-arms. Not sure. But we're going to be a little bit short on healing here, so I'm going to take pretty much all of the food. It's going to be the only way we are likely to be able to heal. I'm going to bring 1 extra shovel. 2 is probably good. Let's grab 1 anti-venom, 2 keys, and torches. Oh, absolutely. Even on a short dungeon, I'm going to want to go with plenty of torchlight. 8 should be good. Let's get stuck in and get this goddamn trip into the cove. Just this shit over with. I'm telling you, it's not long before I'm going to put on a fucking furry mouse suit and I'm going to walk around creepily, just eyeballing everyone. Just sort of vaguely menacing, but then also with like a jovial attitude. But that's clearly false. It'll be like, oh, hey, kids, welcome to Chuck E. Cheese. Hope you're here for a good time and not getting your tires slashed in a parking lot by a man who's been pushed too goddamn far by screaming 6-year-olds. The last bit is probably better remained as subtext, admittedly, because, if you're working at a Chuck E. Cheese, odds are pretty strong. You really need that job. You really need it. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not trying to pick on him. I'm just saying, if you're in that suit, it's only a matter of time before you lose your soul to eternal damnation. That environment, it's gonna grind you down, man. It's a millstone for the human soul. Opening an empty chest in Darkest Dungeon is likewise a similar millstone for the human soul. Before I crest out of this one, I should try and remain on the positive side. This is what will prevent us from winding up like Chuck Einstein Cheese. The E, by the way, doesn't actually stand for Einstein. I'm pretty sure the E stands for eternally damned. Let's chuck eternally damned cheese. Yeah. How blight resistant are you? Not at all. So, yeah, you know what? We've learned our lesson here. Well, we've got to kill this thrall too, but the pelagic shaman is the other thing who is very dangerous. And Wade Wilson is going to be able to work over these two guys in the front pretty well. Do we want to go with the rampart and try and knock back? No. Do we want to defend somebody? Honestly, no. We could bolster. Let's just go for the retribution here. We'll pump the down thrall, start putting whatever damage we can get into him. I kind of like the idea of a suppressing fire here, but I also very much like the idea of a sniper shot on the pelagic guardian. I really feel confident that Wade's going to be able to take down the thrall. Okay, well, a gargling grab is... I'm going to go ahead and just say that that is probably bad. I need really a throat full of yogurt to properly pull that off and sound exactly like a murloc. That's how they made that song when they recorded that, by the way, is they actually had someone gargle yogurt. The murloc noise, it's yogurt gargling. Yep. Can you not hit the front rank? I'm pretty sure you can't hit the... you could throw a poison dart at him, and that's... Well, do that, then. Even though he's probably going to resist, we've got to get him as hurt as we can. How much health have you got left? Okay, so that guy is dead. He's dead to blight. Good. Shoot that piece of shit then, Catherine Bishop, and then you can spend the rest of your time patching up Wade Wilson. Not that he needs it. Wade Wilson brings his own healing. That's kind of his bit. He also brings ridiculous damage. That's his other bit. Man, the one thing we can say, our lepers, they've been freaking phenomenal. Go ahead and eat a little food here, Wade. We have not yet had an encounter with a leper where I've been disappointed. They really bring the hurt, man. I'm thinking they might be one of my... I mean, in the Redux version here, among my favorite classes. This does not look good at all. Stress Wave is decidedly bad. Electra, not quite nachos, is taking a little more damage than we'd like, but we're going to have her start working over this pelagic shaman. We know the shaman is our primary target. He's the man gotta die. That was definitely not good. I'm guessing that's a stun attack of some variety. Electra, not quite as delicious as nachos, manages to resist, though. Could you maybe get somebody to attack you at some point, Taskmaster? Just, like, get somebody to take maybe a little poke at you with your riposte ability? It'd be nice if it ever actually worked. Here comes the spear fishing, going for Catherine Bishop. Can't help but notice that no one has still to attack Taskmaster. Maybe, you know what, now that I think about it, maybe I have an explanation for why people are so reticent to attack the Taskmaster. It's gotta be just because they know he's the Taskmaster, right? They'll be like, oh, come on, man, we can't pick on that guy. He's barely a superhero. I mean, that just seems... Picking on a Taskmaster, man, it just seems mean. We can't do that, right? I mean, that's like, you know, it's like picking on somebody with a handicap. It's just, you don't do that. That's not cool, bro. You can't do that. They don't deserve that kind of treatment. Taskmaster doesn't deserve that kind of treatment. He's just a man, and not even a good man or a talented man. I mean, he's just a man trying to make his way in the world today. I mean, it takes everything you've got. Sometimes, you know, everybody needs a little time to get away. Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows you're not a superhero. Sometimes you can just be Anthony Masters. You don't have to be the Taskmaster. So does a critical do anything on the blight? It makes it last longer. That's really it. So despite our constant reposting, still no one is attacking Taskmaster. Not a soul, not a single soul. Don't you have an attack that gets rid of corpses? You do, Purge. Let's just go ahead and do that and bust them out of the way. Man, I'm really liking the leper. They seem to bring a hell of a lot to the party. And I mean, like, to the party as in, you know, like the shindig, showdown, hullabaloo, affair kind of party. But also like the party as in the 4 people who are just fucking desperately trying not to die. A rare miss from Wade Wilson. Oh, and an opportunity here for Anthony Masters to actually take a shot for somebody. So we can force the damn computer to attack Wade Wilson. That is the one thing we can do. Technically, we are still marked, by the way, too. And I didn't feel the need to throw any damage at that guy because we knew the blight had him killed. So what is this thing? A fish idol. For a second there, I thought it said a flesh idol, and I was like, what? So it's like a giant statue of a penis? What would go on a fish idol? Anti-venom, maybe? No, probably holy water, now that I think about it. I mean, if you're going to worship a fish god, you should probably throw some water on it, right? Let's just touch the fish idol. Let's never touch a fish idol ever again. Holy crap, that is a goddamn terrible debuff, actually. Yeah, so we're never touching a fish idol ever again. Unfortunately, we have to go down here because there is a non-zero chance that this could be a room battle. So we'll have Electra Nacho. So holy crap. That was a good find. I mean, she's still not quite as good as Nachos, and honestly, I would really rather have a plate of Nachos in my party than a Grave Robber. I mean that sincerely. Like, if you came up and said, hey, look at this. We got, like, some 7-layer Nachos here. Bean dip, avocado. We've got a little, like, 5 different kinds of cheese on there. Little bit of guacamole, nice dapple of sour cream. I'd be like, yeah, hook me up with that, man. I'm pretty sure no monster is going to be able to resist the siren song of delicious nachos. They'll come a-running for the nachos, and then when they do, we can kill them while they're not looking. I'm tempted to riposte here, but I'm not going to. I'm going to guard Wade Wilson instead. He is too badly hurt. I would just rather have, and so of course, the one time we don't riposte, someone actually attacks. Trolling me, aren't you, Darkest Dungeon? No, I mean, that's fine. I mean, I know how you roll. Holy crap, guard actually did something. We did get 5 stress from that attack, and we managed to resist the bleed, which is nice. So Ghetto Hawkeye is going to do a little bit of repair instead of damage, which I am not a fan of. And given the fact that Electra has the huge damage debuff, it really seems like maybe just continuing to throw the blight darts could be her best attack. She also has a huge accuracy penalty, it's worth pointing out. And we're taking way more damage than I'm cool with. Man, Wade is really handing out the beatings, though. That's a stress attack as well? That seems a little egregious, Darkest Dungeon, that it's also a stress attack. So hopefully when this guy attacks both of us, we can get a riposte and maybe put some damage on him. We need this man dead. We probably also really needed to heal, but we definitely needed that guy dead as well. There's 2 free damage. That's fantastic. I don't know if this one's going to be winnable ultimately. We may have to pack it in here. We did 0 damage. We did get to blight. Our blight damage is not reduced, but I kind of think we got to go for a stun. Which was... oh, wait, I was going to say it was... wait a minute. How did it resist but also hit? Or did he resist the push and the stun work? I'm going to guess he resists the push. Alright, Wade. Take a poke here. Alright, big guy is down. There's a big fat corpse in the way, which is problematic, admittedly. Can we rampart you? Alright, hell yeah, let's just keep ramparting, and if we can keep getting stuns... that's actually pretty good. Pushing that guy to the back, I think, renders him quite mostly useless. I'm not sure he can attack from that position, which means really what we need to do is leave the corpses alone. We're definitely going to Toxin Trickery here, get rid of that bleed. Couple things we're going to do here. Not quite Nachos, if she gets an opportunity to go. Oh, she's no longer... I was going to say we're going to have her use the bandage. She's no longer bleeding. The critical heal there is very nice, and the stress relief is very welcome. Taskmaster is looking a little stressed, though. I gotta say, the Taskmaster has... we can't purge here, can we? Alright, I guess we'll have to switch positions. Honestly, let's just keep throwing poison darts at this guy. Or we could just let him die. That's the other thing we could do, because he's probably gonna do that. So let's just let him die. We'll just sit back. We let nature take its course, you know? There's no need to buck convention. Death is it's a part of life. It's a natural part of the order of all things. Let's just let it happen. We'll go ahead and purge corpses. This guy should just drop dead. I'm gonna guess that was probably old age. What trinket did we get? A debuff resist charm for -2 dodge. That seems very much not that good. We're gonna feed Taskmaster 2 food. We're gonna feed Ghetto Hawkeye 2 food. And we're going to hope that our room battle, the last room battle we have to get into, is very nearby and not all the way at the end of the dungeon through like 65 hall battles. I'm going to guess it's the 65 hall battles way, though, because fuck me, this is the Cove. They want me to wind up inside that mouse suit. They want me to know what it is to know the eternal indignity and suffering that is the daily life of a mouse-centric pizza restaurant. I mean, they want me to know that pain. Alright, so nice dodge there. Good work, Taskmaster. He's seen that trap before, which is why, you know, he knows how to dodge it. His muscle memory is keeping him safe right there. He's like, nope, nope, I've seen that trap before. Not gonna fool me again. I won't get fooled again. I'm like the Who. 100 treasure for Electra Nachios, who I'm willing to take pretty ridiculous risks with her life at this point, because with that debuff she's got, she ain't exactly bringing a whole lot to the table. So we've got one more trap. And Electra. Stashed heirlooms are fine. You're also going to be the one disarming this trap, I'm thinking. Yeah, because you can't fail. Little cheap stress relief for Miss Nachos as well. And we've got another room. Crack a couple torches. I'm just keeping my light at 100% pretty much all the time. Let's collect ourselves. We just did. We burned a torch. It's at 94. I mean, it doesn't get much better than this. Just go in. And of course, this is the Cove, so our fucking last fight is going to be in the last room, because it's always in the last room. I'm really beginning to hate the Cove a lot. So let's try a shovel. Shovel does nothing. I guess it's bandages? Bandages does nothing. Well, fuck it, let's just figure it out. Is it anti-venom? No. Well, it definitely ain't a fucking torch. I have no idea what does stuff to coral. I guess we'll just touch it? Go to hell. That's all I'm gonna say. Just, hell is on its way. You get an undirect, straight, non-stop path straight to it. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Go straight into hell. Here comes a shocker. Anthony Masters, I think, is probably gonna get stunned, because as I recall, he's actually vulnerable to stuns. Eldritch Pull, bringing Nacho Man to the front of the party, which is very bad. Mostly because it pushes everybody else back. Nice dodge, though, from Not Quite Nachos. 7 damage from Ghetto Hawkeye should be enough to get the kill, and Wade can still do his very good thing here from the second rank, so this is not the end of the world. Let's just straight back up. We'll restore ourselves to our previous position, let the Blight get the kill. Salty Gouge. Oh, it's the Perfidious Pete's signature move. Because let's face it, if I was a wrestler, a Salty Gouge would definitely be my finishing move. It'd be like a thumb to the eye, but like I would be mid-rant or something first. It'd be like talking about what it's like to actually work at a Chuck E. Cheese, and that I feel that no human should be subjected to such denigrating employment. And then just in the middle of that tirade, I would like fish hook you, throw you over the top ring rope by your cheek, and then climb up on the top turnbuckle, take out a sprinkler of salt that I kept in my pants, sprinkle you down, and then drop like a flying elbow on you. And I'd call it the Salty Gouge. Man, did you see that? Oh, look out, Jerry! He's on the top rope! Oh my god, here comes the Salt Shaker! It's the Salty Gouge! This match is over! Speaking of this match is over, I think this match might actually be over, because these guys do a lot of fucking damage. These salty groupers, or whatever the shit they're called, they hit pretty hard. And, well, 6 damage is not... It's not fantastic, but... If we can spread this damage around, and this is our last room battle, we might be okay, especially if we can get Wade Wilson to bring the hurt. We're gonna have to try for the stun here. And we definitely have to go for... I'm in the world's stupidest man. That was supposed to be a suppression, not a mark. Needed some suppression there. And, yeah, I didn't do it. Alright, well, Not Quite Nachos at least got us 1 kill. That fish has a knife in the top of his head. That's the greatest thing of all time. There's a knife sticking out of that. That's fantastic. We killed him with a knife. He's got a knife in the top of his skull. I love that. That's awesome. At this point, I really think we need to go for kills more than we need heals. We need to get these guys all of the dead. So let's just try and make sure we can kill what we can kill. And I'm going to guard here on old Electra, Not Quite Nachos. She's very badly injured. And she is one of the few people we have left that can hit this last rank. I'm not sure if this guy can hit us from back there. I'm actually now fairly certain that guy cannot hit us from back there. So let's take our speed buff here. I don't think he's got an attack that hits us. And we're going to try and farm some cheap heals. Oh, that's beautiful. Ghetto Hawkeye with the emergency patch there. Can you do anything? Or are you just going to stand there and bleed? Oh, you're not actually bleeding. I suppose you're blighted, so we definitely need to purge these corpses then. Let's pop you to the front rank and see if maybe we can... I guess we'll just throw another blight dagger into you. You know, Electra Not Quite Nachos has actually been doing okay so far this mission. I didn't expect her performance to be quite as powerful as it turned out to be. Not that she's been Wade Wilsoning it up or anything, because let's face it, she's no Wade Wilson. But, I mean, she hasn't fucking thrown it all away either. She hasn't pissed away the whole relationship like she did that whole opportunity to be Daredevil's girl thing. So let's reorder the party. We're not exploring any further in this dungeon, by the way. This dungeon is done. We are going to open this heirloom chest, though. We're continuing adventuring for an extra 150 gold and 4 crests, which honestly is a little disappointing. But really, I'm just glad everybody got the hell out of this dungeon alive. We were pretty badly overmatched. Let's beat feet here. It's it. And the cove... it's making me real salty. I mean, sure, it did inspire my signature wrestling move, the Salty Gouge, which is brilliant, but it's also completely irrecoverable. If I hit you with the Salty Gouge, you're done. It drives you through the concrete floor. And you've got salt in the wound. Like, the wound comes pre-salted when I give you the Salty Gouge. Still, though, the cove is definitely my least favorite area to explore. I do not really like it at all. So Wade Wilson picking up 2 Exolve EXP. He's manic for money now. He's also a Warren scrounger, despite the fact I think he's never actually been to the Warrens. Maybe it's like Elizabeth Warren that he's scrounging. I don't know. And Electra Not Quite Nachos has Dispomania, or Dipsomania, rather. Which, you know what? I got no problem with that. Seems fine. Because you know what goes good with nachos? A nice salty beer. I mean, they're talking like a high salinity beer, like a Corona, something along those lines. It was really good with nachos. We got pretty solid stress relief. Mercedes Knight is moving sluggishly after a long night of drinking. Does that eventually go away? Recovered 45 stress. Diana has left in search of a holy vision. So she has... Thanks, Darkest Dungeon, because I didn't want her to go be the 3rd man in our little team. No, it's fine, Darkest Dungeon. Totally fine. So I guess Jean Grey is going to be going on our next mission then. That reminds me, saying it, okay, so... Captain America is no longer afraid of heights, and Jean Grey is no longer nocturnal, which is fine. I guess we'll head to the old stagecoach and maybe find... Where is our fucking occultist? We need an occultist. I also really want a bounty hunter, and we have had neither. I think we're going to have to pick up another Vestal. A sister of battle. And we've got... we have 3... I forgot to name people. I'm sorry, Digby, Sydney, I forgot you were there. Oh, yeah... Okay, well, I mean, this is actually not the start of a terrible crew. Vestal, Hellion, Leper, they're going to do all right. So what we'll do in between episodes, we'll get those guys named up, figure out who their super secret identity is, because clearly Glanville, Digby, and Sydney, that's their secret identity. That's who their alter ego actually pretends to be. Like when Clark Kent isn't being Clark Kent, he pretends to be a guy named Rick, who's a roadie for Metallica. Yeah, little known fact. Superman, huge Metallica fan. Really loves Enter Sandman. And pretends to be a roadie. But that's going to happen between episodes. We'll figure out who these guys are. And then we'll get ready to go back into the dungeon so I can drop the salty, nasty gouge. Or was it just the salty gouge? Yeah, my finisher's the salty gouge. So I can drop a salty gouge on a few more enemies down in the dungeon. Right now, though, I'm going to wrap it up. If you enjoyed it, feel free to drop a like down in the comments section. Of course, your support does really mean a lot to us. And if you'd like to see me drop salty gouges on my foes on a regular basis, you might consider subscribing as well, because it's all about the finisher. That's what wrestling has come down to. Right now, however, thanks very much for watching. I'll see you again soon.